produce it. Okay, so this is called isolating morphemes. We'll do this before we get into the trees. So when you see the test, it'll be something like this. Divide each word into its component morphemes using the plus symbol. State which morpheme is the root. And for each affix, state whether it's inflectional or derivational. If it's derivational, note how it changes a part of speech or the meaning of the word. If it's inflectional, note the grammatical information that it adds to the word. Good. So I'm recording the screen. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. So you have example A, we have, if we put the ED here and then we have reusable. So you have disliked. So dislike breaks into dis and then like and then ed. So then you would look at like as being the root. Dis would be derivational because it changes it to not, the meaning to not. And then the ed is the inflectional past tense ending. So that would be how we would isolate at least that if you looked at that first word. Now another one, if we look over at reusable, so we break it into re and then use and then able. So use is the root and then re is derivational. It changes the meaning to again. You go from use to reuse. And then you have able, it changes from an adverb to an adjective. I mean from a verb to an adjective, because you have reuse is a verb and then reusable is an adjective. So that would be isolating morphemes with these two examples. So what I want you guys to do right now, and then we'll talk about them together, I want you to try these two now. Watch, watchful, and revisions. And remember the steps. The first step is to separate the different morphemes, identify the root, and then try to identify the different affixes as being in derivational or inflectional. So take a couple minutes on that.
What were we doing again? I have no clue.
Yeah, we're focusing on watchful and revisions. These two.
Well, I'm doing what? I just chunk of what you said.
Okay, so if we go through the first step, so the first step is to divide this into how many morphemes? Anybody? If you can hear me, if you can comment, what would be the two morphemes here with watchful?
Is it
Watch and full.
Good. So watch plus full. Then the next step is the root. What's the root?
Watch.
Good. And then we just have one we need to work with here. So we have full. So it goes from watch to watchful. So would you guys, there's not really any grammatical information being added here, right? So let's say this is a derivational, and then the reason. How does it affect the word? So you have watch, which is a verb, right? So it's changing from a verb to what?
An adjective?
That's it.
No. Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, adjective. So in this case, you have watchful. Watchful is definitely an adjective. So in this case, we have watch plus full, root is watch, full is derivational, changing from a verb to an adjective. The meaning is not really affected here, but it is changing the lexical category. Okay, how about revisions? How do we break this up? What would be, how many morphemes do you guys see in this word?
Would it be 3?
Yes, so you have plus vision plus S. So then we start with the root. So the root equals
Vision?
good. And you guys might not hear me, but can you see at least? Maybe the sound's not good, but you can still see?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. At least we can see. So if you can't hear everything I'm saying, just watch. Watch what we're doing. Okay, so then what? We have 2 now. We can either say re or we can say s. If we say re, then what do we say about it? Is it derivational or inflectional?
Derivational?
Good. And then in this case, if you say vision, which is a noun, revision is also a noun, so it doesn't seem to be changing the part of speech. But what's happening here? How does re affect the root? So it's changes the meaning to what? Oh, this is a mess. What am I doing here?
To again?
Exactly. So we'll say changes meaning to, again, it's just messing up on me there. But so in this case, we identified the root, we identified re, and then we have one more thing we need to look at, the S, right? So the S is what? Derivational or inflectional? Looks like,
Inflectional?
yeah, good. Yeah, and what grammatical information is it adding?
A plurality?
That's it. Even if you just say something like this is fine, S equals inflectional plural S ending. That really explains what's going on here. And then you have the RE as a derivational affix. It changes the meaning to again. So we've isolated. That's called isolating morphemes. Okay, let's try a couple more. How about lucidity? So we're trying to pin down the number of morphemes first. So what do we have?
Two of them?
Good. So we can say lucid plus ity. And then we go to the root. And then we have ity. What is this? Derivational or inflectional? In this case, we're going from lucid to lucidity.
So I think that's probably derivational then.
Exactly. And then it doesn't look like the meaning is really changing, but changes the part of speech from what to what? say she has a lucid thought. Or your lucidity diminishes somewhat if you're on steroid medications. If I give you some context. So we got to figure out the part of speech. Lucid versus lucidity.
Would it be adjective
Good.
to
Yes. Adjective to ity. What words end in ity?
Adverb?
Nope.
Hmm.
Think about words like elasticity, quantity, quality. All of those words. Words that end in ity. Specificity. Yeah, I'm going to just put it's actually a noun. Lucidity, words that end in ity. If I said your lucidity diminishes if you're taking steroid medication while having the coronavirus, it means that you cannot think as clearly as you could before. So in this case, we have lucidity. Root is lucid. Ity is derivational, changes from an adjective lucid to a noun lucidity. Okay, now the next one. How about recklessness? How many morphemes do you guys see here?
Is it 3?
That's right. So we have rec. So now we got to deal with, so our root. So we can see this. And then we'll go to, you have to kind of get the context of this. Let's look at rec as being a verb. So if you go from rec to reckless, what's happening?
Does it change a verb to an adjective?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we'll say it looks like a derivational process, right? Changing the lexical category. That's one of the characteristics. So we're changing from a verb to an adjective. And then we go from reckless to recklessness. So it looks like there's no grammatical information in here. So it's derivational. Now, how does NESS, sadness, reckless, recklessness, what does NESS do to the adjective when it attaches to it? Happy, happiness.
Does it change it to a verb?
No.
Is it to a noun?
Yes.
Into a noun, right?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it is actually NESS, sadness, recklessness, happiness. When you put NESS on something, it typically makes it a noun. So we're changing from an adjective to a noun. So again, so what we have here is I'll give you points for doing, maybe this is 5, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20. So there's a lot involved in here. This stuff is a little bit technical. There's a lot of things you're doing in here when you look at this word. Okay, let's try right. So how many morphemes do you guys see here?
2.
Good. So we can separate that pretty quickly. So then the root. And then we have S. Don't say the plural S or the possessive S. So is this derivational or inflectional? The S.
Inflectional.
Yeah, definitely grammatical information, not a lot of meaning, right? If you say right or rights, you're still saying exactly the same word. You're just putting S on it. So inflectional, then just name what the function is. This is, you don't have to say, well, it adds grammatical information about. You can say that, or you can just do it shorthand like this. Inflectional, and then the S. What is that? Notice, I write, you write, he, she, it writes. They write, we write.
Was that like the third person?
Good. Yes. Inflectional, third person. I don't know how to. If you say third person S, I'll give it to you. Third person S. It's the third person present singular inflection S, if you can believe it. I told you that on Monday. It's crazy to have one little thing like this. How can it have such a crazy name? But if you think about it, though, it really exactly defines what it is if you said what I said. Third person, present, singular, inflection S. Exactly describes it. And this is the one that's really going to throw you guys off on the test. Drive. What do you do with it? I'll probably make this a 5-point question because this would be like 5, 10, maybe at least 15 points right here. I'll give you points as you do each of these steps. But what can you do here? I mean, it's a free morpheme, right? You can't really break it down to anything other than it is. So this one, if you see this on the test, you're done. There's not much you can do with it. I would just state the root is drive and move on to the next question. If you see a word like cat, book, car, bottle, pen, anything that it can't be broken down to anything else, that's kind of what you'd have to do there. Okay, let's see what we have going on now. My emails are going to blow up, I think, after this class because of the Zoom problems. Okay, let's try this one.
Can I record in the lecture?
Yes, I can't record it the way I'm trying to record it. I'm recording it offline using a program called Camtasia. Can you see this little green thing going on? I don't know if you can.
No.
You can't. I'm recording it.
Oh.
Yeah, this is actually really important because if you miss this, it's like right before your math test, your professor goes over certain equations that you need to know, to solve the problems on the test. So if you don't know this, really you're going to be lost. And these are worth really big points. Okay, so let's try conceptualizes, misrepresenting, subcontract, itemized. Okay, let's try these two for a minute. I'm gonna have somebody share the screen. You guys mind doing that? I can let somebody share the screen and we'll see how you're doing. So conceptualizes, misrepresenting. Let's just work on both of these right now. Then we'll see if somebody wants to do it. Did most people? Okay, looks like there's still quite a few people in here. Okay. Okay, that's good.
Are you saying you want us to annotate?
You do it on your own computer and then share the screen with us. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have you do this time. Unless you want to annotate. I guess you can annotate. You guys want to do that? Is that easier? I guess.
It's just a little easier because like I print out all the papers and I just write on the paper, the
Okay.
workbook
Okay.
paper, not.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, let me make sure I have it set up. Okay. Annotate away. Conceptualizes, misrepresenting, and hopefully I gave you enough space. See if anybody wants to pick it. Just focus on 7 and 8 right now. I'm thinking conceptualizes. Do you guys see 4?
Yeah.
Right? Concept, conceptual, conceptualize, conceptualizes, right? So think about 4. Yeah, misrepresenting. You could probably argue you have miss, re, present, and ing. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think you could say that. You go at present, represent, then misrepresent, misrepresenting. So maybe break it into one more. So you got 4 instead of 3 there for number 8. See, I still don't know exactly how you guys are typing it in. That's much better than handwriting it. Still not exactly sure how to do that.
When you open to annotate, it should come up with like 10 different options and then it's automatically on draw, but right to the left of draw should say text. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, okay. Let me look at that. Oh yeah, text. Okay, so you clicked on the text.
Yeah. You can just enter a box.
Oh
wherever.
yeah, okay. I see it. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have, okay, keep going, number 8. Keep working with it. Somebody work with 7 while somebody's doing 8. So now, once you have miss, re, present, and then ing, so then the root would be present, and then just start working them in steps. So you go from present, then you might go to re, and then miss, and then ing. How about take care of the derivational affixes first, and then do the inflectional one. That'll be the last step you do. And anybody watching the video on another day, why don't you, at this point, if you want to pause the video, try to do these trees. I mean, do the isolating of the morphemes, and then play the video again to see if yours matches up with what we're doing right now. Yeah, good. Concept, conceptual, conceptualize, and it. Good. Perfect. Yeah, root equals concept. Good. So let's keep working our way down. Yeah, item, itemize, itemized. We'll work with that one in a minute once we get these first 2 out of the way. Right, so then our next so we got, what do we got here? UAL, or we can say AL. Then we have IZE, and then we have S. So we got to deal with those.
Would the root for number 8 be present or represent?
Present. Or present, yeah. Yeah, you can look at that as the root. And then just go down from there. So you got present, then you have re, miss, ing. Just That's what I would do. I would go re, miss, ing, then label them as derivational or inflectional as you go. Okay, somebody talk me through number 7 here. Yeah, if you want to use initials, yeah, there you go. So you can just put like D, DER or INF or something if you want to use that short for derivational or inflectional, and then put if you want to put like concept as a noun, you have conceptual. That's a conceptual idea. You're changing it from a noun to an adjective. But then AL as a conceptual as an adjective, conceptualize as a verb. Now it's going from an adjective to a verb, and then you're putting the third person S on the end as an inflectional affix. Yeah, there we go. Derivational. Perfect. And you can say the same thing with AL.
What did you say it changed it to? The IZE was adjective to verb.
Right,
But
that's right. Concept is a noun. Conceptual is an adjective. Conceptualize is a verb.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
conceptualize is still a verb. You just added the S on it.
Hmm.
So basically with 7, you have derivational, inflectional. And then note for the first two, note the changes in the lexical category, and then explain the grammatical information for the S, and that's it.
Can you please repeat that?
Yes. Yeah, let's look at it together here. Let me see. Let's say, yeah, this is getting a little sticky here. Hold on. Let me put this up. Okay, I'm going to clear everything for a minute. Let me see what we got. Okay, how about this? Okay, so here we have the root. I think we have, then we got conceptual, and we have noun to adjective, right? Then we have again derivational. We have changing from an adjective to verb. Then the last one we have inflectional. We can say third person S. Third person present singular S ending. And then with misrepresenting, right, we get to present. We'll say miss plus present. I forgot the re in there. Miss plus re plus present plus ing. And don't forget the vice presidential debate tonight at 6. Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. Root equals present. We have miss. We have re. Then we have ing, right? So we're trying to figure out these. So if we look at miss as in misrepresent, miss is derivational, changes meaning to what?
Would it be like not?
Good. Yeah, it's a negative meaning, definitely. So you have if you have present and then represent, derivational, changes meaning to,
Again?
and then you have ing here. So this one is inflectional, and what's the grammatical information?
Is it progressive?
Yes, good. Progressive or continuous? So inflectional, continuous, ing affix there. So that kind of gets that one. Okay, let's look at this one for a minute. Let's go, let me move this down. Okay, so subcontract. How many morphemes do you guys see here?
2.
Good. So sub plus contract. The root equals contract. And then sub derivational or inflectional.
Derivational.
Good. And changes meaning to think of things like subordinators, submarine, things of that nature.
Under.
Good. So it's kind of like a subcontractor is a person who works below the contractor maybe. So the contractor subcontracts maybe certain things when they're building a building to other skilled workers. So it changes meaning to under or below something. Okay, itemized. What do we have here?
Uh, 3.
Good. So item. So then we can say the root equals item, and then IZE, and we're going from item to itemize. You know, you go to Stater Brothers, right? It says 15 items or fewer.
Noun to verb.
Say again?
Noun to verb.
Good, yes. So we'll say derivational, changing from noun to verb. Good. Yes, exactly. So then we just need to do the ED. So ED, it's still a verb, right? Itemize, itemized. So what grammatical information is this adding? Inflectional.
Is it the simple past?
Good. And you said inflectional past tense
Okay.
ending. Now, it is possible you could say inflectional past participle ending. If you say, well, I have itemized my deductions, for my taxes. If you said have itemized, then that would be the past participle. If you say I itemized my deductions, it would be the past tense. Okay,
I had a question about number 9.
Yes, sir.
I was just gonna say for con, are there situations where con can be used as probably not in this sense, but can be used as
Like as a word,
as a
like a free morpheme,
Yeah.
like pros and cons, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing for conceptualizes too.
Yeah, I think within this context, I don't think that's what it's doing, but yeah, I mean, I think pros and cons are it's kind of it's an informal way, to talk about advantages and disadvantages of something, or a con can be the name of someone who's recently come out of prison or something. But I think in this context, I don't see that.
Okay.
Okay, let's try another one here. See what we can get. So, disassemble. So how many do we have here?
I would say 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you're thinking dis and then as and then I don't. It doesn't look like that's part of it, but dis and then assemble. Right there. So then we have assemble equals the root, and then dis. How do we classify that?
Would it be like take apart?
Okay, so we have
That's it.
derivational, right? So we'll say it's derivational, non-inflectional. Something like that. It can also mean not, but I think in this case it's the opposite. Well, change the meaning. Changes meaning to, I don't know, negative to not. But I guess, yeah, disassemble is to take apart, though. I see what you're saying. I've been disassembling my bike right now. I took my bike back to Dick's Sporting Goods, right? So it had a lot of the axle broke in the back, and they said that was faulty, so it was under warranty. So they fixed everything, right? So I bring it back home. The next day I have a flat, of course, right? So then I looked in there, and the hole was too big to be fixed. So then I had to order on Amazon. Okay, let's look at reintroduction. So how many morphemes do we have here? We'll stop at 2. I won't go beyond 2 o'clock today. We'll take about 9 more minutes. Let me look at my clock. Yeah. The longer this recording goes, the bigger it is to produce. Uh-oh. Okay, looks like we're having some problems with Zoom right now. Okay, so let's look at this. So we have reintroduction. We have introduce plus tion. Right? So then we're going to go down there. So we'll start with we have want to identify that. Then we will take a look at tion. Okay, so is derivational. Notice how it goes from introduce to reintroduce. So derivational changes meaning to again. We can see that. Then we're going from reintroduce to reintroduction. So reintroduce is a verb and reintroduce is a verb, but it looks like we're going from a verb to a noun when we go from reintroduce to reintroduction. So we'll say tion is derivational, changes meaning to. No, changes from a verb to a noun. That's what we can say on that. And that's good. So that's what I wanted to cover today. So to recap kind of what we talked about, let me just go over the steps one more time. So when we are changing, when we're trying to isolate morphemes, which is part of what we do with morphology, the first step is to figure out, for example, misrepresenting, to try to break the word into its component morphemes. In this case, we have miss, and then re, and then present, and then ing. So we got 4. The next step is to identify the root. Root equals present, and then just go from miss, re, and ing. So miss is derivational, changes meaning to not. Re is derivational, changes meaning to again. And then ing is inflectional, progressive ing ending. So we've now done everything that we need to do to isolate all the morphemes in that particular word. Alrighty? And that's it. So what would be good for you is to, in your workbook, look at some of the words, right? And then try to isolate them, kind of what we did in class today, and then compare your answers to the workbook. And I think at the very end here, I think at the end after the tree diagrams, you will see an answer key. Or maybe not. Or you have to use what I just did here as your answer key. Okay, we'll probably pick up. Okay, that's good. So this is a good time to stop right now.